happy Monday from everybody here at Prime Sports World and a very happy holidays from everybody here at Prime Sports World. Thank you very much for joining us on today's episode of The Prime. We're going to dive into week number 16, a very action-packed week in the National Football League. Matt James is going to mute your mic because you got a lot of background noise going on over there. But yeah, please like, share, and subscribe if you like what we're doing here at Prime Sports World. I'm David Huffman from Daily Blitz.blog, Mr. Christian Simpson, my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins, Mr. Matthew James, welcoming into the show our esteemed group of panelists here at Prime Sports World. And it's been a while since I've done a Monday show. I'm working a holiday schedule, so I got to work a couple extra days this week. So I got some free time. So I figured we could do a little banter, talk a little bit about the week that was so far in the National Football League. And boy, has it been a bang-up week so far in the National Football League, just to be capped off by a game at the house that Peyton Manning built tonight there in Indianapolis. But yeah, thank you, gentlemen. Happy Monday, friends. How are you guys? And happy holidays.
Ain't it beautiful? It's so beautiful.
It is a beautiful day, isn't it?
Life is good still.
It's
even better.
The water tastes better over here.
The water tastes better, right? You know, the coffee hit a little different. You know.
It's been man. I've been on a cloud nine, dude. We're gonna get into it. Let's first talk about the first amazing football game, which many people think could be game of the year up until what happened on Saturday. But this Seahawks-Rams game was an absolute barn burner of a doozy of a matchup. The Seahawks trailing by 10, I think, with 14, with under like 2 minutes or 5 minutes left in this game. They get a kick return for a touchdown, and then Sam Darnold throws an FDR to get a touchdown there. And then in one of the wildest plays you'll ever see in your life, Zach Charbonnet somehow gets the 2-point conversion, which shows you even if they don't blow that whistle dead, you go get that football. And we saw a lot of that this weekend in the National Football League. After this game, we saw people playing it like, if there was no whistle, I'm going to continue playing. Whatever, there's no game's not over. Seattle comes back, wins 38-37. Matthew Stafford had 3 touchdowns, 457 yards passing, the most by any player so far this season. Blake Corum had a rushing touchdown. Puka Nacua had 225 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Sam Darnold, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. Kenneth Walker really carried this football team for a big stretch of this game, including a 46-yard screenplay and then a 55-yard house call for a touchdown. As he had touchdowns, Zach Charbonnet had a touchdown. JSN had the game-winning touchdown. And then I don't remember who caught the 2-point conversion, but a former Bronco, I think, they caught the 2-point conversion there in Seattle now as they go on to win in overtime, 38-37. Christian, talk to me about it.
Yeah, this is by far one of the 3 best games I think I've seen all year. It's up there with what I know we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes, and the Ravens and Bills at the beginning of the season, back in week 1. But yeah, it looked like the Rams were in complete control of this game because they were running the ball, and Seattle's really good at stopping the run. I think they're ranked number 3 when it comes to stopping the run. And I mean, look, Puka Nacua, to me, even in a losing effort, I think he became the favorite for Offensive Player of the Year after this performance. I mean, 225 yards, you rarely see that nowadays. But you got to give Seattle a lot of credit because in a crowded NFC, you have the Bears, you have the defending Super Bowl champs and the Eagles, Green Bay, San Francisco, the Rams. Seattle's right up there. I mean, they're the 1 seed in the NFC right now. And I don't think anybody saw that coming. Like, look, this may be the most log jammed that I think I've seen the Coach of the Year award. Like the recipients, it seems like the list is just never ending because it's Mike Vrabel. You know, I could throw Sean McVay in there, but Mike McDonald deserves a little bit of love, if you ask me, because did you really expect, on December 22nd that the Seattle Seahawks will be 12-3 right now? No, there's no way. And I mean, this Seattle, they've quietly done it. They don't care about, you're not going to talk about us. We're going to give you something to talk about. And they did that the other night. But this is a huge win for them. They got their lick back. As me and TJ always say, because they were embarrassed the first time they played. I mean, the Rams defense they were bullies, and they recorded 4 interceptions at Sam Darnold.
And I think also, I mean, the Rams got very conservative towards the end of this game. I mean, they had basically 3 outside of the missed field goal by Harrison Mevis, who has having a really nice season. More saw Indiana represent, but they had basically 4 out of their 5 possessions in the final frame resulted in a punt. 3 plays, 7 yards, 3 plays, 4 yards, 3 plays, 3 yards. It's just like you thought you had the game won, and like you didn't have to do anything else. And they led Seattle. The punt return was huge. I mean, Rashid Shaheed already paid dividends on that trade deadline. This is a huge win for the Seattle Seahawks because, I mean, things are getting interesting in the NFC, and it could get even more interesting with what's going down the stretch. I mean, they got a game with the 49ers that could be for the division, depending on how things shake out over the next couple of weeks. This is a huge win. TJ.
I don't give a fuck. Nobody say that 2-point conversion. That was terribly mishandled on all parts by the officials, by both teams, because Zach Charbonnet didn't even know what the hell he did. Right? Like he just picked the ball up. He didn't know that was gonna be the end result of it. As far as game of the year, like you had this one, you got the Baltimore Buffalo game, you got Chicago Cincinnati from earlier this season. Like that, it's about 4 or 5 game of the year candidates so far. Well, at this point, I still think Matthew Stafford is the MVP, regardless of what Mac Jones did last night. Like, dude threw for what he threw for again?
457 yards.
457 yards. Puka Nacua he had 12. He went over 200 like easily, right?
Yeah,
like
225 yards receiving
and 2 touchdowns. And mind you, this is after some of his personal life got thrown into the limelight. And
yeah, we're not talking about that stuff here.
I'm not going to talk about that, but like it just goes to show you like where your mental goes when certain things pop up. Seattle, I mean, I was like, she Shaheed, like this comeback don't happen if he don't return that punt, right? Him returning that punt cost the Rams special teams coach his job. He literally got fired
the next day.
like the next day or two he got fired. And so like now like that's tough. But it's also like you said, like they kind of got complacent. I also think this game doesn't go to overtime if the Rams kicker doesn't miss that kick. Like that's just it sucks, but that's how it happens sometimes, right? And like Christian said, the Seahawks got their get back because that first matchup they made Sam Darnold look like a little boy. Like, that was bad.
Four picks in that game. I think he accounted for 5 turnovers in that first matchup.
5 turnovers, 4 picks. Yeah, like, that was bad, bro.
Matt
muted.
Oh yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I actually was. I mean, you guys said pretty much everything, but I did place a bet on this one. I had Puka for 100 yards and a touchdown, and he blew that out of the water. I mean, him coming back for LA is huge, but I mean, yeah, the fact that they got complacent and kind of backed off. I mean, I hate when teams do that. It's like, keep going at them.
I think that's a universal hate. Like it's that's
keep doing what you were doing. Keep doing what you were doing to get to you build a huge lead. Keep doing what you're doing. Why? Like,
yeah, that kind of hurt me. But outside of the facts, I mean, I was fine with LA losing. I don't like the Rams, but I mean, it's just keep going at them. I mean, why do you back off? I mean, you had that game, and Seattle took full advantage. I mean, as we saw, I mean, good for them. I mean, things bounced their way, and they, went full throttle the last, little bit of the game. I mean, both these teams are going to be dangerous in the playoffs, especially at, their home fields and everything. So, Yeah, we'll see, what happens here in the future, especially with where they, who ranks number 1, 2, 3, 4, wherever they, fall in the playoff rankings.
Moving on from here, let's swing it into Saturday night football or Saturday afternoon football. Philadelphia Eagles got a little bit of a scare by the Washington Commanders, but pulled away in the final frame, hanging off 15 points in the fourth quarter to win 29-18 over the Washington Commanders in Washington. Jalen Hurts, 22 of 30, 185 yards and 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, I think his best game from yards from scrimmage of the season with 132 rushing yards and a touchdown. Devontae Smith, the Dallas Goedert had receiving touchdowns for the Philadelphia Eagles. On the other side, Marcus Mariota, I think, got banged up in this game, and Josh Johnson, the ageless wonder who's played everywhere in the NFL, came back in and threw a pick. Chris Rodriguez Jr., Bill Burkowski-Marin also had a rushing touchdown, and Terry Scary McLaurin led the Commanders in receiving yards, 3 for 53. It's for Commander fans. I'm sure this season cannot end soon enough.
Yeah, division games are always tough. It doesn't matter where a team may be sitting in the division, what place they're in. Yeah, division games are always a grinded out type of game. And for a second, I thought Philly was going to overlook Washington because they have a huge game next week. Could be a potential Super Bowl preview, but who knows? But nah, Philly got back to the basics. They controlled the line of scrimmage. And when they do that on both sides of the ball, I don't think there's a team that could really compete with them. I mean, I know, they lost they've won their last 2 after losing 3 in a row. The Commanders aren't the greatest when it comes to stopping the run. So Saquon got his back. Probably the best game he's had all year. Washington, it's been a down year. Injuries have really derailed this team, but if they can get healthy, maybe we could see what they did once again last year going into next year.
I think something that's been key on this 2-game winning streak of the Eagles, if they kind of right the ship here, I mean, they've given Saquon Barkley the football. I mean, they have 21 carries for 132 yards in this game. I think he had over 100 yards in the last game as well. It's funny what happens when you give Saquon Barkley the football. This team wins.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to, put the ball in Saquon's hands and give him, a chance. I mean, he may not run for 5-10 yards in the first 2 or 3 carries, but you got to keep giving it to him, and he'll, go to work with it. I mean, it was a much better, plan for Philly. I mean, I know they're playing Washington, but yeah, I mean, they're still not an easy out, coming to the end of the season. They know how to do it, and they went into DC and went to work.
I say ain't nobody really talking about the game. They're talking about that big ass fight that happened in the game, and to the surprise of I think everyone, no suspensions handed out. Nobody got suspended for that. And if you're obviously if you're a fan of both teams like that, like you're like that's cool, like you're cool with that. Excuse me, I'm cool with it because it happened on the field, it ended on the field, so on and so forth. That being said, you have to handle stuff like that with caution because going forward, say there's another fight on the field, and then the league comes out and decides to suspend people in that fight.
Yeah, now this game, these 2 teams play again in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Now you're looking at it like, hey, when Philly and Washington fought, you ain't suspend nobody, and so on and so. Because like you would hate, like say in 2 weeks, right? This another fight break out, but this go round, somebody gets suspended. Like if you're the Eagles, depending on who it is, you're losing said player for a potential playoff game. Like that's massive. So I what's been said about the game has already been said, right? Marcus Mariota, Washington probably wasn't gonna win anyway. Like you feel me? Like they probably they probably weren't gonna win anyway. But he obviously he gave you a better shot at winning than what Josh Johnson did. And like you said, it's amazing what happens when one of the best running backs in the league gets the goddamn ball. It's amazing what happens.
Now to the Monsters Midwest miracle as the Chicago Bears came back 10 down with under 2 minutes left in the game to come back and win this game in overtime. A huge win for the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams and DJ Moore and the entire city of Chicago as they win 22-16 in overtime. Just crazy the way this game worked out and ended. Obviously, unfortunately, Jordan Love got knocked out of concussion, but Malik Willis came in and was balling, man. And we had no answer from Malik Willis, whether it be passing or running the football. 9 of 11 for 121 yards and a touchdown. I still don't think that hit on Jordan Love is roughing the passer. I don't know what you're supposed to do in that instance. You're tackling the ball carrier. He's fair game as far as I'm concerned. Emmanuel Wilson, obviously Josh Jacobs a little bit banged up with a knee injury, didn't take his normal snap load, but Emmanuel Wilson was good in this game. 14 of 82. Romeo Doubs caught the lone receiving touchdown for the Green Bay Packers as this game looked like it was all wrapped up. And then the Chicago Bears were like, hold on to my beer, not so fast. Hold on to my old style and my Lord as we cook up another comeback here. Caleb Williams was magic in the final 2 minutes. That touchdown throw to J.D. Walker, that touchdown throw to DJ Moore, that 2-point conversion. Just a beautiful game by the Chicago Bears. Sorry, they didn't need to complete. I apologize for that. I didn't mean to say that. DeAndre Swift, 4.5 yards per carry. Kyle Monungai, 5.6 yards per carry. And Chicago Bears pulled victory out of the jaws of defeat for the Monsters Midwest Miracle. Matt James, talk to me.
Fuck the Packers. I mean, they've been feeding us this for the last 2-3 decades, our whole entire lives, and finally, the way they beat us before with that 46-yard bomb, it was just once DJ caught that, I was like, oh my god, they got a taste of their own medicine. Especially the amount of times Favre and Rodgers did that to us,
whether it be Randall Cobb or Greg Jennings or Jordy Nelson,
because they don't stop fighting. I mean, they, kept going at it. Things weren't going right. We weren't putting points on the board, but they did not give up. And
I would be totally honest with you. I thought this game was over. Like we couldn't move the football, and we were. I thought they got our number. They got us. We can't. We just can't move.
I had a slight thought of that, but I still was like, all right, we still got this. It was close enough to where things could happen like it did.
And then we recovered the onside kick, and nobody does that anymore in the NFL. I mean, it was just like, we're going to win this game. Like, as soon as we got the onside kick, I'm like, it's going to be over. We're going to win.
But I've grown into being a Caleb Williams believer. Like, the kid he's meant for this. Like, he goes out and wins games when it, especially on the line. And that's exactly what the Bears have been needing. And it's, I thought they got screwed in that opening drive. They, stripped the ball and took the ball away 3 times. Got penalized each time. That was a killer. I mean, full momentum on their side to start the game. And they fought through, it was a whole adversity during the entire game. As you can maybe hear, I still have lost my voice. But yeah, Bears football's here.
TJ.
No, Christian, go ahead.
Yeah. What a game this was. Green Bay was in control, but then again, games aren't won at the half. They're won in 4 quarters and sometimes overtime, like it was in this instance. You got to give the Bears credit because they're never necessarily out of a game. But look, I wouldn't be me if I wasn't honest. Yeah, the term cardiac bears is cool. And David, I hope you checked your blood pressure after the game. TJ too, because I know TJ was tight. Like, look, TJ and I were talking throughout this game, wasn't we, T? And here's my thing. I applied this.
I wear a Fitbit. And I was like monitoring my heart rate. At one point, my heart rate was like 130.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. Nah, but
I was also drinking pretty heavily, so that may have played a factor.
That ladies and gentlemen, what he just said is not a surprise to me. But look, I just want to say this. What I said about the Buffalo Bills last week, I can apply that to the Chicago Bears as well. All right, cool. Yeah, you come back, but get off to quicker starts, because there's going to be those instances sometimes where a team's going to have you down and they're going to keep you down. So these quick starts are really imperative. But I also want to say this. Caleb Williams grew up on Saturday, right before our very eyes. We're seeing a poised quarterback in the making. And I tell TJ this all the time. With a lot of these Bears wins, most of these are losses with Matt Eberflus. But, you know, the culture.
All of these were losses.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, the culture, listen, the culture is just completely different right now. I couldn't be happier for Bears fans. You know, as much as I troll them, I'll also show love and be real. But I have reasons to troll them. I'll tell y'all off air. But yeah, like the Bears are clicking right now on all cylinders, and Ben Johnson deserves a lot of love for Coach of the Year.
TJ.
Where do I begin? Where do I fucking begin? Yeah, to Christian's point, we were talking during this game, and yeah, the frustrations were coming out because it was certain play calls that Ben Johnson made where it's like, yo, that's just not necessary. And for the life of me, I can't remember who said it, but they said it today, and it was about Ben Johnson, and they were like, he's such a brilliant play caller. Like, he has so many brilliant plays that he sometimes outsmarts himself. And that play to where he it was gonna be some kind of trick play, because he was gonna snap the ball to Monangai. Monangai was gonna come back and hand that motherfucker off back to Caleb, and Caleb was gonna throw it to somebody. Caleb was on the field. For that play. The problem is, like, the snap, like, Drew Dalman thought Monangai was 6'5" instead of remembering that Monangai is only 5'5". And so it's like, if that play ends in 7, if that play goes right, it ends in 7. Hey, we're not talking about it. But because that play went wrong in that area of the field, that's where fans will be like, hey, don't do that. Hey, it's a simple, in the words of Stacey King, it's a simple game. You got 2 running backs that are very hard to tackle. 4 cracks are just giving them the fucking ball and saying, hey, you know what I'm doing. I'm handing one of these 2 dudes the ball. Good luck tackling them. Point blank period. To the touchdown to Jade Walker, that's Keyshawn. That's on Keyshawn Nixon being greedy. All right, so he literally just allowed Jade to sneak behind him. I'm with you. The hit on Jordan Love, at that point in time, he's no longer a quarterback. At that point in time, he's not a quarterback anymore. He's a runner with the football. And he lowered his helmet. He lowered his head first.
I mean, like, he didn't put his body. I just don't like the calls where you're literally sacking a quarterback, but yet it's considered roughing. I just don't think those are good calls.
Like, Austin Booker
across the NFL.
Austin Booker had 2 of them, and the first one, I think the first one irked me more than the second one, because it's like, oh, he fell on him too hard. Are they fucking football players or not? Are they football players or not? Like I say it all the time whenever a quarterback gets a soft call. They're football players too. Like, stop. Like, I understand wanting to, quote unquote, protect them, but at some point in time, you have to look at what you're doing and be like, all right, yeah, That's soft. That's terrible. That's just, and then the dirty hit on DJ Moore magically doesn't get called,
Yeah.
right? I was there. I was surprised Caleb Williams got the face mask call he got.
Yeah, me too.
Exactly. I mean,
I was,
after all that,
after what we saw, after the way that game went, I'm like, bro, I'm surprised we got that call. And yeah, like if you're the Packers, you're 100%. You are kicking yourself. You are
yeah,
kicking
you get
yourselves
all
today. Like
those
you
calls and you still can't
like
come away.
you are kicking yourselves today. Like you blew a 10-point lead in what 4.5, 5 minutes,
I think they're like the
Not
like I
maybe
even
think
less.
teams in this instance I think are like we're like 0 and like 500 something when you're up by 10
Like you
points in
had
under 2
there
minutes.
was
And
I think teams had a 8%
yeah,
success rate.
there was a point at this game where the Packers had a winning percentage of 99.9% and they still lost.
And I think teams have had like an 8% success rate of recovering onside kicks this season.
Yeah.
And if you're the Packers, like, hey, that's who you want touching the ball.
Yeah. Romeo Dobbs is the guy you want. Like he's your most
That's who
sure-handed
you
receiver.
want. That's who you want touching the ball. And I don't know if he heard them footsteps. I don't like because he took his eye off the ball. He took his eye off the ball. And to David's point, when they recovered that onside, when the Bears recovered that onside kick, and I'm all like, yeah, it's finna happen. And for it to go to overtime, and for it to end, like the last 4 Bears Packers games have come down to the last possession, and the Bears have had the ball each time.
Yeah.
So think about like last year, field goal to win it in Soldier Field, they block it. Field goal to win it in Green Bay, we make it. Game time touchdown last 2 weeks ago, they intercepted. We get the ball last in overtime, we score. And to the Packer fans talking about some congrats, you beat our backups. The same backups you say we wouldn't be able to beat had y'all won. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Because you can't have it, but you can't say we beat your backups, then talking about some you can't even beat our backups if y'all held on to win the game. Y'all sound stupid.
I'm telling you right now, though, based on that performance by Malik Willis, he's going to get paid this offseason. He's probably going to be starting somewhere next year. He looked great.
And like, here's the thing. I say it all the time, but it's like the reason certain backups come in and do great is because teams aren't prepping for the backup.
Oh yeah, I know.
They just aren't.
Malik Willis is just a different
looks
animal.
like that too.
He does. He's bigger than Jordan Love. He's going to be running the football a lot more than Jordan
He's
Love.
more mobile. He's absolutely more mobile.
Like he's not Jordan Love. He doesn't have the arm strength potentially. Oh, I guess he does have it. But Malik Willis has got a rocket for an arm. But I mean.
So it is. So and if I'm Green Bay, honestly, I wouldn't. You let him go if the price tag is just like too rich for your blood, right? But obviously, like if you're Green Bay, you want to keep Malik Willis in the building. You want to keep him. Sure. You want to keep him there. And to the Packer fans, talking about getting rid of Matt LaFleur again. Shut up. You don't know what I want. Jeff Hafley gone. I want him gone. You keep Matt LaFleur. I want Hafley out. I want the defensive coordinator to get hired somewhere.
I mean, that guy's probably going to get job calls. Let's move on into Sunday afternoon football. First game on the docket here is the Buffalo Bills hold off the Cleveland Browns. They might have mounted a comeback on Sunday afternoon to win this game 23-20. Josh Allen, 15-19, 130 yards. Pretty ho-hum performance for Josh Allen, but James Cook really led the day here. 16 carries for 117 yards, good for 7.3 yards per clip. He had 2 touchdowns. Ty Johnson had a touchdown. Khalil Shakir led the team in receiving yards at 34. Shedeur Sanders tried to pull the rabbit out of the hat in the final quarter of this game, but Buffalo shut the door with that final drive. But Shedeur was good in this game. 20 of 29, 157 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 unfortunate interceptions. He led the team in rushing. And Trayvon Williams, who I've never heard of, had the most receiving yards on the team. And Harold Fannin continues to have a really solid rookie season, 4 for 34. And unfortunate news to come out of Cleveland as well. Quinshon Judkins, if you see the injury, it is nasty. Don't watch it. Just kind of got wrapped up, leg broken. Has some knee stuff going on and some ankle stuff. Just hopefully he gets a speedy recovery. He was one of the lone bright spots for the Cleveland Browns before Shedeur Sanders emerged onto the scene. Had a really good rookie season. but unfortunate. We'll see what his future looks like after that devastating injury. But thoughts out to him and his family.
Yeah, this rookie class for Cleveland is actually really, really goddamn good, really goddamn talented, which just makes Kevin Stefanski's job that much more in jeopardy because you mishandled the most important position. Like if you would have went with Shador earlier instead of Dylan Gabriel, there's no like I'm not gonna sit here and say you're in the playoffs, but are you 3-12? Probably not. Your rookie linebacker, what's his name? Schlesinger, led your team in tackles. He had 14. Harold Fannin is a rookie.
Most receiving yards by a tight end in Cleveland Brown history. I don't know if that's saying a ton because I don't know any other besides David Njoku. But he's had a virtuoso of a season, stealing word from there.
2 total touchdowns for Harold Fannin Jr. Right? Shador Sanders 1. So I am of the belief that if they go quarterback in the draft, if they use a quarterback on any one of those two first round picks they got, Cleveland, y'all deserve whatever the hell y'all get coming. If you use a quarterback, if you draft a quarterback on one of those two, if you use a pick to get a quarterback on one of those two first round picks you got in the 26th draft, you deserve whatever hell comes your way. Because what you should do is give Shador a full 17, use those first 2 picks purely on dudes that's 6'5" or taller and they weigh 315 pounds or heavier and they block up front. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? Did y'all see the Browns' offensive line yesterday? Did y'all see it? I watched the game. Did y'all see it? Did you see it? Cam Robinson looked like he was lost.
I mean, Cam Robinson hasn't been good since he was drafted. But
and to your point, David, to your point, this is what
teams keep bringing in Cam Robinson, think he's going to be like the final piece of an offensive lineman. He's just been trash. He hasn't been good in the NFL at all.
It's like we'll fix him. It's like we'll fix him. It's like no.
I mean, the talent's there, but yeah,
he is what he is, and. For Buffalo.
And also Myles Garrett moves to half a sack away from the record. At least time.
He's one still
I think he's going to get that over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you see how Buffalo's offensive line was like, yeah, it's not happening against us.
And as a team, you should take that challenge. Like you don't want to be the answer to the trivia to a trivia question. Right, like you don't want to do that. Buffalo did what they had to do, man. They came in. Josh Allen didn't need to be Josh Allen. He just had to do just enough because Cleveland was going to do stuff that made them lose the game anyway, and that's what happened.
Christian,
this had trap game written all over it for the Buffalo Bills. I knew this game was going to be closer than what it needed to be, but this just goes to show you there's no such easy thing. There's no such thing as an easy game in our league. I mean, see what happens, David. How many times? I think I say this probably once a week every time I'm on a show with you. See what happens when you let James cook.
Yeah,
good things happen.
Yeah.
But see, I'm looking at my psychic snow globe, and there's just a strong possibility that the Buffalo Bills are gonna screw this up come playoff time. Like they're gonna feed James Cook the ball, and then they're going to get away with it because that's what another team did that we going to talk about because I need to rip into them. But this is a tough, gritty win for the Buffalo Bills, and believe it or not, they're still in the hunt for the AFC East. I mean, about a month and a half.
The New England just missed steps once. I mean,
yeah, and a month and a half ago, you're saying to yourself, "Oh, New England's running away with this division," but this is pretty. They're still in the thick of things. As far as Cleveland, they play tough, but they find different ways to lose football games, unfortunately. And, I'm just so happy to see Shador on the field. I know he's been criticized heavily and stuff like that. Get him a coach that's going to care to use him properly, because Kevin Stefanski's doing everything and anything he can to make sure this kid fails.
Moving on from there, the Dallas Cowboys were eliminated on Saturday, but they didn't bother to even show up on Sunday. Scored 17 points in the first frame, and then were blanked for the rest of the game. And this is Justin Herbert's best game since he broke that hand. He looked much like the Justin Herbert we saw at the beginning of the season, where he was getting MVP conversation, than the guy we've seen over the last couple weeks. It kind of just rough outings there for Justin Herbert for a couple weeks there. They kept winning. But Justin Herbert wasn't putting up the gaudy numbers he did in this game. 23 of 29, 300 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He also had a rushing touchdown. Marion Hampton had a rushing touchdown. Quentin Johnston also had one of the prettiest touchdowns you'll ever see, as he had 1 touchdown. So did Ladd McConkey. On the other side, as their season starts to wind down here, Dak Prescott, 21 of 30, 2 touchdowns, 1 to George Pickens and 1 to Ryan Flournoy. Javonte Williams, his really nice season is going to go out in flames, as he's going to be over 1,000 yards. But the Dallas Cowboys are not going anywhere this season, as they just, every time they get momentum, they seem to drop it. Either the game against the Lions last week or 2 weeks ago, and then this one. Or, 3 weeks in a row, really. They controlled their destiny a little bit. Then you lose 3 games in a row, and now your season is essentially over as the Dallas Cowboys. And Dak Prescott, he wasted a great Dak Prescott season. He would, in other scenarios, he'd be in an MVP conversation.
Nobody blame but Jerry Jones. Go ahead.
Yeah, he definitely had a great year. And you see the Cowboys are such a completely different football team. CJ, when he's on the field and he's healthy. But to me, this was the Chargers' best game since week 1 of the season, when they beat Kansas City. And like David said, that was probably Justin Herbert's best game since the beginning of the year. He was in control. He didn't do too much. He didn't do too little. But having a healthy Quentin Johnston really makes the difference. He's your guy that can go up and win the 50-50 battles. He's 6'5". Yeah, I'd be using him every chance I get. I mean, did you guys see that touchdown pass that he threw to Quentin? I mean, he put that exactly to only where Quentin could get it. And not only
it was an FDR, as the kids at the yard say.
Oh God. No, but Justin also threw Quentin Johnston open. So he slightly overthrew the ball and forced Quentin to accelerate and get the ball. But just a great all-around performance for LA. They ran the ball, they controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and they hit the Cowboys in the teeth. What more could you ask for?
TJ.
Rex Ryan's a savage. Why did I say that? Because game day countdown, they're discussing the games and shit, and they made this big announcement that Matt Eberflus is moving from the sideline up into the box to coach the defense from up there. And I think the term "get a better view" was used. And Rex Ryan, being Rex Ryan, said, if Matt Eberflus wants a better view, you know what he should do? Buy a ticket. And I'm like, damn. That was cold. But half of me feels bad for Matt Eberflus, because he took this job thinking, hey, I'm gonna have Michael Parsons and so on and so forth. And then Michael Parsons gets traded. Right? And then the deal for Quentin Williams and Logan Wilson, like those 2 moves don't happen until later in the season, which goes back to my original point. Like, this is all on Jerry, because if you made those moves around the same time you made the Michael moves, who knows what your defense would look like? Who knows what your team would look like if you got those guys around prior to week 1 versus week 7 or week 8 or whenever the trade deadline was. To your point, like, you wasted another great statistical season by Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott should dead ass have 2 MVPs under his name if the Cowboys were just a little bit better.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, he has the numbers. he just don't have the wins to go with those numbers. And if you're the Chargers, obviously, like the Cowboys, their season ended Saturday with the Eagles winning. And if you're the Chargers, keep pressing the gas pedal because you want like you're chasing Denver
I
at
mean,
this point.
they're still in the hunt for that division. I
Like
mean,
you're,
they play each other one more time. I mean, Denver has to play Kansas City this weekend. There's going to be some pride involved in that game.
because
So,
and to your point,
the Chargers could legitimately win this division.
win this
still.
division. And David, to your point, well, also Cowboy fans look away because you let a dude with a broke hand go 23 of 29 for 300 on your head with a broke hand. I don't care if it's his non-throwing hand. He threw for 300 yards on y'all with a broke hand. Y'all got to eat that.
You probably felt good saying that, didn't you?
Look, bit.
Moving on from there, we're swinging into the AFC. We got the West versus the South, and the Tennessee Titans hung up 26 on the Kansas City Chiefs as they cruise to the easy victory. Unfortunately, Minshew Mania awfully short this time around, as he unfortunately tore his ACL during this game. Obviously, he's going to have a long road to recovery. He's a free agent after this season, so who knows what his future in the NFL is going to be. Just unfortunate for a guy who's been pretty fun in the National Football League so far. And the guy they brought in, I've never heard of, Chris Oldacon, 11 of 16 for 111 yards. He's 28 years old. I guess he's been in the league. I don't know. I don't know a thing about this guy at all. Chris Oldacon, 11 of 16, 111 yards. Isaiah Pacheco, 8 for 34. Xavier Worthy, 2 for 41. It's just this Kansas City Chiefs season is just going in the toilet. On the other side, really nice season. Like probably Cam Ward's really his best game of the season so far. Something you can hopefully build upon. 21 of 28, 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. Most importantly, didn't have any fumbles in this game. He was not responsible for a single fumble in this game. And Tony Pollard goes over the century mark. Tajay Spears got a rushing touchdown. Cameron DK, who's also a rookie on this football team, had another good outing in this one. And Chika Kongwu caught a shuffle pass for a touchdown as they go on to win 26-9. Not a whole lot to talk about here as the Titans just took care of business against a team that's packing it up for the season in the Kansas City Chiefs.
Next game.
Mm-hmm.
Next game. Mm-hmm.
Moving on into the next game, we got the Bengals, and I guess Joe Burrows are back to having fun and playing National Football League again as he put up a absolute field day against the Miami Dolphins. And Quinn Ewers, unfortunately, his NFL debut was spoiled by the play of Joe Burrow and Chase Brown, who accounted for 3 touchdowns in this game. T. Higgins had a receiving touchdown. Samaje Perine had a rushing touchdown, and 4 touchdowns from Joe Burrow. Quinn Ewers, 20 of 30 for 260 and 2 picks. Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, Malik Washington all had rushing touchdowns in this game. But unfortunately, a lot of that came in semi-garbage time as they go on. Bengals win 45-21. And probably both of these two teams will be looking for new head coaches in the offseason. I know, Christian, you said that they're going to stick with McDaniel. I just don't believe it.
Nah, they just said it. I mean, look.
They just
said it yesterday. They just said it yesterday.
People say stuff like that all. I just don't imagine they're going to have him back as the head coach next season.
Here's what I see. No, they're gonna. If anything, they're gonna get rid of Tua, because Tua is what's holding them back.
Yeah, they'll move off him before they move off Mike McDaniel.
I think they're both going to be gone, but I could be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong, but I just can't imagine how you could be like, oh yeah, we're going to roll this guy back out again. Like we've seen it. We've seen enough. We don't need to see it again.
Listen, TJ gonna know what I'm saying. TJ, if that were Brian Flores, his ass would have been out the door already.
Nah, that's because you got it's the age-old adage. Mike McDaniel didn't draft Tua, he inherited Tua. Right?
Yeah, but it's been 5 seasons and they constantly come up short, and this has been
if
I was the owner of the Miami Dolphins, I would have been fired him. I would have fired him already. Like when they got off to that slow start at the beginning of the season, that would have been. But obviously, I don't sign those guys' paychecks, so what does it matter to me if I have to?
Because here's the thing, like the GM who drafted Tua is already fired, like he's already gone. And like I was telling Christian in our conversation off to the side, like every time Tua does something bad or the Dolphins do something bad, Brian Flores is just up there looking like, Try to tell you, but like that, let this be a lesson to this. Like this, 100% should be a lesson to every team. Like, hey, GMs, I understand you may like a guy, you may like a player, but if a head coach says, "Give me this player," you get him the player he wants, not the player you like. This situation is null and void if that GM listens to Brian Flores and says, "Hey, give me Justin Herbert. Well, I like Tua, so I'm gonna draft Tua. You just gotta make it work." You see how that shit works.
And then on the Cincinnati side, I mean, this is every season with this. I mean, it's just too little, too late. Like they had an opportunity to potentially make the playoffs if they could have, not fumbled the bag against Baltimore last weekend. And you have a great game here, but it's irrelevant in the big picture.
And I still don't think it would have. I still don't think it would have
Oh,
helped.
yeah. I mean, they would have needed a long shot, especially since Pittsburgh keeps winning. Like it would have been a real long shot, but like they had an opportunity and they just fumbled it up. They fumbled the bag when it mattered most.
I don't even think they had an opportunity. See, like here's the thing, like
it was very small. There was a
like
chance.
they just like, oh, well, Joe Burrow's this. I'm like, no, he's not. Like I'm like, is Joe Burrow cool? Yes. Is he a bad boy? Yes. I'm tired of motherfuckers giving Joe Burrow credit for a Super Bowl run he went on 6 years ago. That time has come. That time is coming on. They haven't been back to the playoffs since then.
No, they have been to the playoffs since then. They beat the Buffalo Bills in that playoff series, and then they got beat by the Chiefs in that. Remember they called it the Burrow. Yeah.
I'll say this: the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals are the Milwaukee Bucks of the NFL. What have they done?
Minus the title.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
that's a good comparison. I like that. Let's move on. From the AFC East against the NFC South, and New Orleans quietly having a really strong finish to the season. They've won 3 in a row now. Against the Jets, Panthers, and Buccaneers in back-to-back weeks. And they really stifled Brady Cook and the New York Jets with this one, 22 of 35. And Cam Jordan, potentially got his final sack in New Orleans. He had 2 sacks in this game. Big, it hasn't announced what he's going to do at the offseason, but this may be all she wrote for Cam Jordan. Same thing with Taysom Hill, who got to throw a game. Just a touchdown towards the end of the game. Also might be his last game as a member of the New Orleans Saints. Just a good win here for the Saints as they cruise to win 29-6. Tyler Shook quietly having a solid rookie season as he's come in for Spencer Rattler. I don't need to talk about anything else.
I think I saw some Taysom Hill is I want to say he's the only NFL player to have like 1,000 career passing yards, 1,000 career rushing yards, and 1,000 career receiving yards. Like some crazy stat like that, or at least I think it's like over 1,000 in each respective category. And yeah, like I understand like drafting a young QB and then like sitting him for a few games and whatever, but I just can't help but think what would they look like if they would have just given Shook those reps to start. Like, hey, game 1, week 1, you're starting. Like I just can't help but me again. I still think they should have went with Shador. They had a chance to take him. That's neither here nor there. They did what they did. This is the result. They 5-10. Nice finish to the season, like you said. What, 3 in a row?
Yep, 3 in a row. Two division rivals,
beat a bad Jets team. Did you know the Jets don't have an interception on the season?
I mean, sure, okay.
No, I'm like this. Like as a team, they don't. I don't think they have any interceptions. I hope I'm wrong on that.
I'm not really all that surprised.
No, they don't. They don't. No one on the Jets has an interception.
Christian, you got anything on this one?
Man, go to the next game.
Moving on from there, we have the Minnesota Vikings pulling off the victory against the New York Jets in a sloppy, messy game there at MetLife Stadium, the home of the New York Giants, 16-13. Jackson Dart had probably his worst game of the season since he's become the starter of the New York Giants, 7 of 13 for 34 yards and an interception. He didn't even complete a pass, I don't think, in the first half. Just a tough day at the office for Jackson Dart. Did throw a pick six interception. The other side, J.D. McCarthy, not much better. 9 of 14, 108 yards and a touchdown.
Why are you saying like that?
I was just saying he wasn't much better in this game. He did have the lone rushing touchdown. I think the lone touchdown in this game. Oh yeah, no, there was a defensive touchdown as well. Justin Jefferson did have a nice toe drag swag in this game, 6 of 85, but just not a great offensive game if you like offense in the National Football League. It's the Minnesota Vikings going to East Rutherford, New Jersey, and beat the Vikings or Giants 16-13. Christian.
Or wait. Giants.
TJ, you got anything on this one?
Yeah, I just hope this isn't the. I just hope this isn't the moniker for both of these young quarterbacks. JJ McCarthy got hurt again and had to leave the game. And
yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, he had was it concussion or chest? Hand injury.
And what's his name? Jackson Dart. This is. I don't think he got hurt this game. He just had a bad game, right?
Yeah, he just didn't play well in this game.
They just didn't play, but 12 games now, officially 12 games. You've been in concussion protocol 5 times. That's not a recipe for a long career. Fuck successful. At this point, you just want to make sure you have a career. And I hope that they somehow shake that the injury prone moniker, because that's not something you want to be tagged as.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Moving on from there as the Carolina Panthers take over the NFC South as they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 23-20 in a very entertaining football game. Baker Mayfield threw the game-sealing interception with under a minute and a half left in the game. They had no timeouts left, and that was basically ball game for the Carolina Panthers, as this was a very entertaining game, back and forth the entire way. But Carolina did just enough as they go on to win this game. Baker Mayfield, 18-26. He did throw a touchdown to Mike Evans and then threw that costly interception that sealed the game. Sean Tucker had the lone receiving touchdown. Mike Evans, as I mentioned, had the lone receiving touchdown in this game. On the other side, Bryce Young, another good performance at the ballpark there. 21 of 32, 192 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Tedero McMillan and Javavion Sanders had the lone receiving touchdowns for Carolina as they take over the NFC South and now have a matchup with Seattle next week before these teams play again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, the injuries is finally caught up to Tampa. I mean, like, it caught up to them a long time ago, but like you can really see it now. Like, it sucks because they had a pretty decent lead in the division, and Carolina.
Yeah, they've won. They've lost 6 out of the last 7 games.
Right, and Carolina's just not to steal they team slogan, but they just kept pounding. They just kept at it, and now
they basically have won every other game this entire season. Like,
right. And yeah, shout out to, I don't know what Baker was doing on that interception, because Mike.
Well, it looked like Mike Evans was gonna. He thought he was gonna continue on the curl or whatever, the route to take him to the corner of the end zone or corner of the field, but he just cut it. But you can see that Mike Evans had changed directions even before he threw it. So
even before he threw it. So
I don't know. I don't know.
He's like, why'd you throw that? Right. So yeah. Go ahead, Christian.
Yeah. Tampa Bay was 5-1 at one time. Baker Mayfield. Yeah, Baker Mayfield was like sitting comfortably at the top for the MVP. For the MVP. And yeah, like TJ said, The injuries have really caught up to this team. And David, at the top of the show, I mentioned that it's an ongoing list for Coach of the Year, right? Many candidates can be on this, and Dave Canales needs to be on this list too. Because did you think Carolina would be in first place at this point right now?
Well, no, but they're 8-7. Let's
still compared to what they've been.
Compared to what they've been, David.
I'll give you that. Yeah. I mean, for sure.
And we talk about quarterbacks growing up. Bryce Young has really grown up this year. I mean, he's more mature, but most importantly, I think the game has slowed down for him now. And they have Rico Dowdle. They know how to use him because a certain team sure didn't know how to use him last season. I ain't gonna get into that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I got.
Moving over to the late afternoon window, and the Jacksonville Jaguars get the win of their season so far as they move to 11-4. And talk about a guy who should have his name on the Coach of the Year conversation, Liam Cohen. Duval County, Jacksonville, Denver, you kind of expected to see them come back in this game. Jacksonville Jaguars just were like, nah, not on this day. 34-20. Another good day at the office of Trevor Lawrence. He's been absolutely amazing over the last month or so. This one, 23-36, 279 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had a lone rushing touchdown. And Parker Washington, who just basically was making Riley Moss his what in this game is the dude just couldn't. I don't know, man. Riley Moss had a tough day at the office for sure. I'm sure. Parker Washington had a touchdown. Bretton Strange had a touchdown. And Travis Etienne had a receiving touchdown as well in this game. On the other side, God bless Bo Nix, comes up a little bit short. 28-47, 352 and 1 touchdown, 1 pick. RJ Harvey had a receiving touchdown, and also did Cortland Sutton. But it was just too much Jacksonville Jaguar from wire to wire as they put their clamps on Denver Broncos and never let go.
Yeah, they really did. They were more physical than Denver. Denver, to me, is the most physical team in the AFC. So when you get a taste of your own medicine, TJ, what do I always say?
The bully don't like to get bullied.
That's right. The bully don't like to get bullied. And, Jacksonville didn't stand a chance in this game. But they went up there and just established the tempo of the game in their favor, and Trevor Lawrence is finally looking like the guy we expected him to look like coming out of Clemson. I mean, he's in things, but see what happens when you have a running game to lean on. I think they were putting a little too of Trevor Lawrence. That happens, you feel like you got to be Superman. I mean, I say it all the time. We've seen it in LA with the Chargers and Justin Herbert. We've seen it in Buffalo with the Bills and Josh Allen. Like, balance still matters today. And Denver, I mean, Denver had a nice little winning streak going, but all things must come to an end.
At some point at Denver, you're not going to be able to rely on these heroic comeback victories. Like, it's like you talk about the same thing we talk about the Chicago Bears. Like, at some point, you have to start better.
I'm telling you, a quick start and keeping your foot on the gas from the start of the game, throughout the game, and toward the end, it makes the difference. And I remember when I played, Coach said, look, the game is not won until A, the fat lady is naked and singing. Yes, he really did say that. And B, there's 3 zeros on the clock.
TJ.
Yeah, I mean, I think David, you and I both said that the win streak was going to come to an end for Denver this game, and Jacksonville has quietly walked the Colts down. Now, granted, injuries have helped. Injuries to the Colts have helped. Who knows what happened had Daniel Jones not, unfortunately,
the wheels were starting to come off of the Colts even before he got hurt. But
having to dust off 45-year-old Phillip Rivers ain't helping the situation. I wholeheartedly think Riley Moss, half his penalties are definitely reputation based. Like, they just I mean,
you can wear all the arm sleeves you want to wear, but they still know you're a white corner.
It's not even that, because
I'm kidding. Come on.
when they played Green Bay, he had textbook coverage. He played that pass perfectly. and the flag still flew, and he got called for PI. And like, if you're Riley Marsh, you're looking at it like, yo, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do? And on the other end, it's like Christian said, like, hey, they kind of, they beat Denver at their own game. Like, they were more physical. They came out, they punched them in the mouth, and Denver couldn't punch back. So what Jacksonville's what 11-4 too?
Yeah, 11-4. They're game
So
back
like,
of Denver now. So
like they can wholeheartedly clinch the first seed.
yeah, the
First seed
number one
in the
seed in both
NFC.
the number one seed in both conferences is completely wide open right now.
Completely wide open.
So moving on from there, swinging into the Big Toaster, the home of the Arizona Cardinals, as the Atlanta Falcons go into there and get the victory, 26-19. Kirk Cousins, 21 of 35, 197 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did throw 1 interception in this game. He also had a rushing touchdown. Shout out to Kirk Cousins. Also, shout out to Drake London. Didn't necessarily need to return this NFL season, but did. Came back. He did have a bad drop in this game, but otherwise played pretty well. Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson both had receiving touchdowns for the Atlanta Falcons. On the other side, Jacoby Brissett, just not a great day at the office for Jacoby Brissett. 16 of 31, 203 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Michael Carter, as their running back core, is just kind of falling apart as the season has gone on. Michael Wilson, had a really nice couple of game stretch here, last month or so, where he's put up some big numbers and losses for the Cardinals, but 2 for 52 and a touchdown as they fall to the Falcons, 26-19 in the Big Toaster. Christian.
Wow, the Falcons actually held on and won a football game.
Well, the lead wasn't 28-3, so they were able to pull it
Funny
off.
as hell.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know, one of these damn birds had to win.
Funny as hell.
Let's just move on. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Pittsburgh Steelers go into Ford Field and they pull off the victory against the Detroit Lions on a very wild end to this game as they win 29-24. And with this victory, Mike Tomlin secures another winning season as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they are firmly in the driver's seat of the AFC North. All they have to do is win either one of their last 2 games and they clinch the division, regardless of what Baltimore does because of what they did on Sunday night. Pittsburgh 29-24. Aaron Rodgers, completion percentage is not really where he wants to be, but he still played pretty well. 266 yards and a touchdown, but the Lions had no answer for this rushing attack of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And every time Detroit seemed like they were going to come back in this game, amount of comeback, Jalen Warren was running down the football field for a touchdown. Happened in 2 straight drives. 2 touchdowns for him, one being a 45-yard house call. Kenneth Gainwell may have had the catch of the year on that catch. He just was laying there and the ball just kind of fell right into his hands. Somehow didn't hit the ground. He gets up, runs it in for a touchdown. Was really a changing point in the game there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 5 of 78 and a touchdown because that was going right into half. So if you take that touchdown away, I mean, we're talking about a totally different game for these two teams. On the other side, Jared Goff put up big numbers, but it just didn't matter as they also abandoned the run in this game. 12 carries, 15 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, Khalif Raymond, and Isla Tesla had the receiving touchdowns, but Detroit just comes up short in a very chaotic final 50 seconds of this game, given the 2 OPIs, both of them probably justified, and then that crazy play with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff, where it just was nuts.
Go ahead.
You mentioned the Steelers running the football. You know, I've been calling them out to run the damn ball all year long. I think this is a completely different ball game if Brian Branch plays in this one. While Aiden Hutchinson is their best player, Brian Branch is the guy that makes everything go.
Well, you could say that about that whole secondary. I mean, you're basically have a revamped secondary from what you thought you have.
Yeah, which is true and all.
None of those guys are playing like the secondary. None of those guys were starters in week 1.
Yeah, which is true and all. But David, I don't think people realize just how important Brian is. He's the glue to that Detroit defense. He plays in the box, he plays out the box, he can play back in coverage, he covers ground, he can pick up slot receivers, and he's one of the few safeties in the league that can defend tight ends. You don't see that. And he can stop the run. Again, the Steelers don't run the ball as wild as they did yesterday if Brian Branch is in that game. And I'm just going to come out and say it. The Lions got hosed because that was an awful call. It's one thing it's one thing if you make a call like that with 5 minutes left in the game, but you don't do that to end the game. Like, come on.
I mean, it was pretty clear, OPI.
I was
but TG,
like me and Christian talked about it.
Also, give Jalen Ramsey the Academy Award for that acting job that he did after that push up by Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I still feel like that play, he was short of the goal line, and his forward progress was clearly stopped. Why they didn't blow the whistle at that point is beyond me. There should never have been an opportunity for him to lateral. It was that game. The play was over. And the other OPI couldn't have been more obvious. Like, there was an obvious pick.
His pick, yeah,
clear as day.
Like, I'm talking to Christian about that, and like my exact words was like, I'm indifferent about that ending. I the Bears fan to me is like, yo, they lost, we in the playoffs, fuck everything else, right? But the football fan to me is like, ew. Like, ew. Like, that's how you decide that game? Like, that, ew. And to your point, David, like, for progress, the whistle should have been blown. I don't know if it was or not.
I mean, I've seen them blow the whistle faster on other plays. I mean, come on,
like that part. Like,
Amon-Ra St. Brown couldn't have been more bottled up. Like, he was not going anywhere else.
I've seen the, like you said, I've seen the whistle blown way sooner than that. But also, to your point, where the hell was he finna go? Like, where was he? Like, at that point, it becomes about protecting the player, and because he was in a very vulnerable situation, like he was literally off the ground. Like, he was literally.
I mean, Jared Goff took a crazy tumble in that game too, just to try to get into the end zone. Like, regardless of how you feel about the officiating, and they were never going to score on that play. Period.
And
if they had been officiated properly from the beginning.
Like, I just want to know, like,
how do you not run a route that at least gets the ball in the end zone?
In the end zone
in that play.
Like, that's how, like, I understand having faith in your guys, but that's having a lot of faith in Amon-Ra St. Brown to break 2 tackles and get in the end zone.
One of them being like Jalen Ramsey, who's probably going to be Canton someday.
And like you said, well, he the one, like, he for him to like get that push off and then get back up and then get back in the play, like, yeah. Because he sold. I said that shit to Christian. Like, he sold the hell out of that push.
Yeah. Like he got shot in the face.
he sold the hell out of that push. And if I can find the crew, because I want to say this is the same crew that did the Rams. The Saints Rams playoff game from way back when Tommy Lee Lewis got
hosed on that
hit.
Call?
Yeah, got hosed on that. I want to say it's the same fucking crew. I could be wrong, but if it is that same crew, you have to start asking, yo, why is it y'all? Like, why is it always y'all? You get what I'm saying? Like, Detroit Lions fans, like, I'm here to say, as a Bears fan, like, you have every right to feel that you got the short end of the stick on that call. On the other end, had y'all handled business a lot earlier in the season on some of y'all ills, y'all wouldn't be in this situation.
On top of that, if you could just bottle up the running game and not let
that too, like, don't allow Jalen Warren.
You had a big opportunity to come back and win this game, and then every time that it seemed like you were going to close the door and like clear the gap here, you give up a huge run to Jalen Warren in back-to-back drives and back-to-back possessions. I don't feel bad for Detroit at all. They still have an opportunity to make the playoffs if they win out and Green Bay loses out. So good luck to them. Mm-hmm. Christian, you got any final thoughts before we move on?
Nah, I mean, Mike Tomlin, another winning season. 19 years, 19 winning seasons. But Yeah, that's great and dandy and all, but hasn't won a playoff game since 2016.
16. What's that? Coming up on 10 years.
Just
Moving
saying.
on. Moving on from there, the final game in the late afternoon window, and a lot of teams in the National Football League watching this game very closely, as the Houston Texans loss would have meant many teams got to clinch the playoff spot. But since they didn't, there are a lot of teams still in limbo now. Like Buffalo would have clinched. I think Jacksonville Jaguars would have clinched the playoff spot. The Chargers would have clinched the playoff spot. None of those teams have now because the Houston Texans came back and beat the Las Vegas Raiders, who somehow made this a very interesting game. Geno Smith, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Ashton Genty had 1 billion yards in this game, almost 200 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns in this game. Brock Bowers had another receiving touchdown. And then C.J. Stroud, 187 yards and a touchdown. Julian Jordan was the leading running back for the Houston Texans, as Woody Marks was a very light scratch for Houston. And Dalton Schultz, Bobby Schultz's cousin, Dalton Schultz, got the lone receiving touchdown for the Houston Texans. If you don't know, Bobby Schultz is a friend of mine from back home. We go way, way back, and I always joke that that's his cousin. So it's all whatever. Shout out to Bobby Schultz.
This game was closer than I anticipated it to be.
It was closer than anybody anticipated it to be. The fact that the Las Vegas Raiders were able to put up 20-point points against the number 1 team in the NFL is shocking to me.
Yeah, considering some of the teams that this Texans team has completely shut down, yeah.
And I know Myles Garrett's going to break that sack record and probably win DPOY, but Will Anderson Jr. should have a legitimate shot at a stake at this. I mean, there's a team that's 10-5 as opposed to 3-12. I just, anyways.
I mean, but when we say it all the time. Like sometimes
I know.
No, like we say it all the time. Like sometimes a historic season sometimes just has to be rewarded. Right?
I mean, it's just like when Mike Trout was winning MVPs for the Angels in baseball, the team was terrible.
Yeah, he was doing shit that we hadn't seen, right? And so on and so forth. And when was the last time the Raiders were actually competitive in a game? Like I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not even trying to be funny.
It's been a while. I think the Raiders.
Asking.
I think the Raiders. I think they had more passing yards in like the first quarter of this game than they did the last they've been getting pounded. So the closest game they had was against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a game they lost in overtime. 30-29.
Because
they've just been getting routed.
Yeah, like there was a game against the Broncos where they lost 24-17, but at one point in time that was a 24-7 game, and
it was 21-14 until the final seconds of that game where you kicked the field goal for some reason.
You kick a field goal to make it 24-17, like whatever.
Cover the spread. For all you conspiracy theorists out there.
He was like, whatever. And Ashton Zenchi went over 100 yards for the first time in I don't know how long.
He's only done it twice. The other game was against the Chicago Bears early in the season.
Jesus Christ. But let this be a lesson to like the bad teams like Vegas, Cleveland. Just getting a quarterback is not going to fix all of your issues. It's not. It's not going to fix what's wrong. You have a lot of problems. It's not going to get fixed overnight. All right. One, fire Pete Carroll. Like it's and it's no disrespect to Pete Carroll. It's just like, dude, it's just not your game anymore. It's not your game anymore. All right. And then hire somebody younger, more up with today's style of play, and go from there. Houston could fuck around and win it all with the defense they got. Yeah. They could dead ass win it all.
And not to mention their offense is finally starting to get healthy. I mean, the sky's the limit for the Houston Texans for real this season. Christian.
Yeah, I'll give the Raiders a little bit of credit today. Normally, I'm giving them a virtual middle.
You give them hell.
Nah, fuck that.
He said, "No, I'm being petty. I'm being petty today."
Yeah. like TJ said, this was a much closer game than what I thought it was going to be. And
I mean, the Raiders were winning for a majority of this
yeah,
game.
they
It wasn't
were.
really. It wasn't really until the final quarter where the Texans
That's
took
the
over.
crazy thing. But I want to say this: Ashton Genty isn't the problem. Get him an offensive line, and I think he'll even be more dangerous. I mean, look at the numbers he's put up with this abysmal offensive line.
Yeah, 24, 128 yards and a touchdown, and then 1 for 60 in that crazy pass he got that screenplay. Or that, yeah. Moving on to Sunday Night Football, and probably another very interesting finish in this game. Baltimore got up to the early 7-0 victory, or 7-0 lead, as they were riding Derrick Henry in the first possession. They kind of went away from it a little bit. I'm sure Christian wants to talk about that a little bit, but New England comes back. They win this game. They win 28-24. They get 15 points in the final frame, and this seemed like a game where New England was finished. When I went to bed, I thought that New England was going to lose this game. Baltimore ends up, fumbling. They try to come back in this game, try to make things interesting with the final possession. Zay Flowers fumbles the ball after getting the reception. That's all she really wrote for the Baltimore Ravens in this game. Drake May, 31 of 44, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Ramondre Stevenson, 8 for 51 and a touchdown. Travion Henderson did get banged up in this game, but did not return. Stephon Diggs was over 100 yards. Kyle Williams, Hunter Henry both had receiving touchdowns for the New England Patriots. And then the other side, on the Baltimore side, Lamar Jackson gets injured early in this game and does not return. Tyler Huntley came in, was okay, 9 of 10 for 65 yards. Derrick Henry, 18 of 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. He did have one costly fumble in this game. And Zay Flowers also had a rushing touchdown. And obviously he had the game-sealing fumble as the Baltimore Ravens fumbled short, as they're no longer in control of their own destiny in the NFC North, or the AFC North, as they need Pittsburgh to lose out in order to have a chance to win the division now. Just a costly loss for the Baltimore Ravens, as what's going to be a costly season. I mean, I think you're going to start having that John Harbaugh conversation a little bit here, TJ. I know
hey. I wasn't crazy when I said that shit.
Yeah, I think maybe we're going to see the conversation start to come up a little bit here.
Go ahead, Christian. You got it.
Yeah. First, I want to give kudos to New England, because that's a gritty effort, and that was really one of my first times getting the chance to sit down and watch Drake May play. He's a wizard in the pocket. To only be 23 years old, his pocket presence is incredible, right? Tough seeing Travion Henderson go down, because to me, what Jahmyr Gibbs and James Cook are to their teams, that's what Travion's become to New England. But man, give Stephon Diggs a lot of credit. This is why you went and got a guy like him to make big time plays and make catch after catch in a game of this magnitude on a Sunday night under the lights against a tough opponent. And as far as Baltimore, we've been down this road with them way too many times, where they have a lead, they blow it, and they get away from what works for them, because you saw what happened when Derrick Henry was running the ball. The offense was flowing. That offensive line was being athletic. Everybody else, got a piece of the pie and everything, and then they just choose not to give him the ball anymore, and that's how they lost this game. Plain and simple. I mean, there's no other way around it. But congratulations to New England, because they are back playing postseason football for the first time since 2021.
TJ.
Yeah, it was almost like when Derrick Henry fumbled the ball, they just said, "Yeah, we ain't doing that shit no more." And not only did they not, like, they just went away from running the ball, they went away from running the ball with Derrick Henry. The game is on the line, and your last 2 drives is a mixture of Keaton Mitchell and any running back not named
Rasheen Ali is the other third down back that they use.
Any running back not named Derrick Henry. Right, that's where you went with that, John Harbaugh. That's where you went with that, Todd Monken. Right? That's what we're doing. And to Lamar Jackson, bro, he took a mean ass kidney shot. I don't know if y'all. I don't know. Like, did you see it?
Yeah.
Like, it was obviously, like, it was inadvertent. Like, he took a knee to the kidney. Like, he took that part of the back. Like, he Like he took a knee to that part of the back, and he came out almost immediately, and like you could tell like something was up. And then they showed the replay. I'm like, oh, he took a mean ass kidney shot. And if you're the Ravens, you halfway want to say like you just want to wash your hands of the season. You be like, hey, you know what? We like by trying to make the playoffs, we just gonna make this shit worse. We just gonna make this worse than what it already is. Let's just shut everybody down. Shut Hamilton down because he banged up. Shut Roquan down. Shut Derrick Henry, like, hey, he ain't playing no more. Lamar, you ain't playing no more. Mark Andrews, you done. Zay Flowers, you since you the young buck of the crew, like you can play if you want to. But everybody else, hey, I'm not gonna make this no worse than what it already is. Like I would just like that's just me, and that's not a sign of giving up. That's just a sign of, hey, in order for me to win the playoffs, Pittsburgh has to lose the next two games, and I have to win the next two games. And nothing about my team right now says we can do that.
Yeah, they're going up against Green Bay. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going up against Cleveland Browns in Cleveland, looking to play spoiler. I hope the Ravens play all their stars, and I hope they beat the Packers on Saturday, because I would love a world where the Packers miss the playoffs.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. But I don't know, man. Like that Harbaugh conversation, the Harbaugh conversation, the Tomlin conversation, Christian, who am I missing? The I mean, it's really just them two, right? They the two. Like
elder statesman, the oldest. I mean, obviously Andy Reid, but he's not going
outside Andy Reid. But you're not firing Andy Reid, right? Like
no.
But at the same time, I also don't think you're firing Harbaugh and Tomlin, because I think
those guys have earned it. Those guys have
that's what I said. Like
I've
been saying that, David. I've been saying that ever since you started podcast. I'm like, hey, certain coaches have earned the right to just walk away when they want to. Right, like they earned.
We had the conversation with Belichick. I mean, Belichick, even though they did him a little bit dirty, but they
did do him dirty.
Yeah, they did a little dirty, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah. Thank you very much for joining us here for our Week 16 recap. We are going to be back here tomorrow, breaking down Monday Night Football that gets kicked off in about 30 minutes or so, actually about 20 minutes or so, between the San Francisco 49ers and the Indianapolis Colts in the house that Peyton Manning built. This has been Prime Sports World. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. And real quick, before we get up out of here, who you guys like tonight?
I like San Francisco. Look, Indy was a good story, but it's all caught up to them. They don't need Phillip Rivers to go out there and win the game. You know, he's been a great story, but continue to do what you've been doing all year long, and that's feeding Jonathan Taylor and just moving out the way. But San Francisco's been pretty good against the run this year. So I'm sitting guys in a box, and I want old man Phil beating me. Like, if he throws the ball more than 20 times tonight, that falls in the laps of the San Francisco 49ers. I say San Fran wins this game 27-17.
And something I forgot to mention during the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Lions recap is DK Metcalf is going to be suspended for their final two games of the season after his altercation with that fan. You just can't do that when you're in the hunt for a playoff spot. Like, if
what DK said is true, then David, I wholeheartedly get what you're saying, but at the same time, these fans got to remember, just because you a fan don't mean you above reproach. Stop talking crazy to the athletes, and then be surprised when they respond in kind. Stop that shit.
With all that being said, yeah, I'm going to take the 49ers tonight. I think they're just a better football team. I think the wheels have come off for the Indianapolis Colts. TJ.
Come on, man.
And before we get up out of here,
you can't ever answer a question.
Before we get up out of here, we're here at Prime Sports World. What do we do here, gentlemen?
We make fun of TJ because he ignorant.
We'll be back here tomorrow, breaking down all this stuff and talking about week number 17. You all have a good night and stay safe out there. Peace out.
See y'all, man.
Peace out, gentlemen. And we bring the heat.